Hey, it's me, Shane. So welcome back to the channel. As you probably know, we are in the middle of awards season. We just had the Golden Globes, nominations for the SAG Awards just came out, as did the nominations for the Directors Guild, and the Critics' Choice have been out for a while. And Oscar nominations actually just got pushed back due to the wildfires in California. By the way, I don't know if this is going to reach anyone in California, but if you do live there, please be safe. Very sorry. This is a pretty catastrophic thing going on right now. People are losing their homes. So if you're in California, I just wanted to say, please be safe, and everyone is thinking about you. But yes, Oscar nominations are coming soon, and I wanted to go ahead and get out my predictions for what the nominations are going to be. So we're still pretty early into award season, so I'm not going to even try and predict the winners or anything like that. I'm just going to give what nominees I think are going to be announced. I do have one caveat though. I'm not going to do predictions for the documentary or short categories, just because I know nothing about those, and it would just be like a shot in the dark. So it's not even worth giving anything, I don't think. Not to discredit those, just I don't know much about them. So I'm only going to be giving my predictions for the feature film categories. And with that out of the way, let's get right into my predictions. Okay, so like the Oscars usually do, I'm going to start off with the supporting actor category. This one's pretty easy. There is 4, I'm pretty sure, locks. And those are Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, and Yura Borzanov for Anora. Now, this last spot's kind of tricky. There was buzz about Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2, but I think that's kind of died out by now. Clarence Macklin from Sing Sing was also rumored, but Sing Sing's chances overall have gone down, I think. Hasn't really been nominated for a lot. Didn't get nominated for much at SAG. So because of this, I think the 5th spot is going to go to Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. It's a real transformative role, which the Oscars like a lot. And I think this will be the Oscars' way to acknowledge The Apprentice without giving it too much focus, as it is pretty controversial within the industry itself. Now, Best Supporting Actress. This one has 2 locks between the 2 possible winners, I think. That's Ariana Grande for Wicked and Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. Now, these last 3 spots are pretty difficult. This is going to be a pretty wild category to predict nominee-wise, but I think with all the love Emilia Perez is getting right now, I'm pretty confident Selena Gomez is going to get in, as well as Zoe Saldana. She's just really liked in the industry, and with all the buzz Emilia Perez is, I feel like that's just going to go. There's going to be a lot of nominees. Emilia Perez is going to get nominated in a lot of categories. So I think that train's going to transfer over to her. I don't see Jamie Lee Curtis making it for The Last Showgirl. I think that was just a SAG thing. She hasn't really popped up anywhere else, I don't think. So I don't see that happening, especially with her last Oscar being more of her career Oscar. And I don't think this is going to be the one that gets her second one. And The Substance is kind of in the same role as Emilia Perez, just to a lesser extent. I think everybody really likes The Substance. So I think Margaret Qualley is going to get a nomination as well. And then for the last spot, I'm going to go with Danielle Deadwyler for The Piano Lesson, just because that would really make a diverse group of nominees. And I've heard a lot of good things about The Piano Lesson, specifically her performance. So it would be weird if she didn't make it. Now let's move on to the screenplay categories. First, Best Original Screenplay. This one isn't going to be too hard to predict, except for, again, the last spot. I think The Brutalist, A Real Pain, Anora, and The Substance all are pretty much locks for screenplay. The last spot, I think, is going to go to A Complete Unknown, just because it's performing really strongly at all these Guild Awards, and I think it's going to be a sneaky Best Picture contender. A lot of people don't have it like that high up right now, but I think it's going to kind of work its way into the conversation, and I think screenplay is a big aspect of that. Best Adapted Screenplay, this one's pretty easy overall. Conclave, Emilia Perez, Dune Part 2, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Those are kind of the 5 that I think have been reoccurring. I don't see any of those missing. Those are all probably going to be Best Picture nominees, so I don't really see anything else working its way in here. Can't forget about Best Animated Feature. Obviously, The Wild Robot which people were going crazy for. Inside Out 2 to have the Pixar representation. Memoir of a Snail to have the kind of older adult, not for kids representation. Flow won at Golden Globes, so I think that's going to propel it to a nomination and a possible win. I'm not predicting wins right now, but I think Flow is really having a moment right now. And then the last one I think is just going to be Moana 2. Animation isn't really taken too seriously by the Academy, so I think they're just going to give it to a popular sequel to a popular movie that came out. Inside Out already represents Disney, but I think they'll give Pixar and Disney separate nominations anyways. So now we're going to move into the technical awards. One that I think is really going to clean up in these technical awards is Nosferatu. It came out a little bit too late to campaign for Best Picture, and it's also a genre movie, and The Substance is kind of filling that role right now in the Best Picture discussion, so I don't think it would have had a chance anyways. But for these next couple categories, you're going to hear Nosferatu and Dune Part 2 a lot. Starting with cinematography, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu of course, but also Nickel Boys, Conclave, and The Brutalist. Those are all locks. I don't have any doubts about those besides maybe Nosferatu, but the visuals were probably the best part of that movie, so I don't see it missing cinematography. Best production design. Again, Nosferatu and Dune Part 2 are very likely. Gladiator 2 I can see making it in here because it's really big and showy. Conclave, again, I think Conclave is going to get a lot of technical awards too. Conclave is another sneaky Best Picture contender in my opinion. And then Wicked, of course. The sets in Wicked were really good. The cinematography kind of like washed them out, but the sets in Wicked were really a throwback to like old Hollywood, you know, the time of The Wizard of Oz, and they did a really good job, so Wicked deserves to be up here. Best sound, once again, Dune Part 2, Wicked with the musical aspect, Alien Romulus, I think is going to take the genre spot here, and it also, I heard, had really good sound, and that, you know, that's a big part of the Alien movies is you don't see the alien as much, you hear it. Then A Complete Unknown, also for the musical aspect, and The Wild Robot, which is the only animated movie I've seen popping up in the sound nominations, so I think that's going to continue through. I think The Wild Robot has a lot of love going for it too. Best editing. Now this is a big one if you want to contend for Best Picture. So I think a lot of these are going to pop up later as well. The Substance, Emilia Perez, Anora, September 5, which I haven't really heard a lot of buzz about, but people are saying is, you know, gonna be in there in Best Picture. So I think it has to be here. And just from the trailers I've seen, it seems like the editing is a big focus of it. So I think September 5 is definitely going to get a nomination. And of course, Dune Part 2, once again. Best Score. Challengers, the Golden Globes winner, should be nominated for a whole lot more, but it's not going to. It was my personal favorite last year, but it's probably only going to get a score nomination, as well as Best Original Song, which we'll get to next. Conclave absolutely deserves to be up there. Another movie where the score is one of the best parts of the movie. The Brutalist and Emilia Perez are both going to be in here, I think. Once again, the Best Picture front-runners-ish, so I think score is a big part of that. And The Wild Robot, again, just because I feel like that's the only animated movie I've seen popping up in score a lot, so I think they'll want to carry that over. I think The Wild Robot's getting a lot of love technically, so if it's not a shoe into an animated feature, that will be surprising. Best Song. Like I said with the documentary and shorts, I don't really know any of this. I haven't heard any of these songs. I'm just going off basically the Golden Globes and Critics' Choice and mashing those together to what I think looks like an Oscars lineup. As I just said, Repress from Challengers is probably going to get in here. Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late, you gotta have one like biopic song, or not even biopic, but like song from a older musician, I should say. El Mal from Emilia Perez, which won the Golden Globe. Kiss the Sky from The Wild Robot, always have an animated song in Best Song. And Mi Camino from Emilia Perez. Again, Emilia Perez is getting a lot of attention right now. The industry seems to love it, so I can see them nominating 2 songs from it, especially since it's the only original musical in the running. Wicked, all of its songs are adapted, so it doesn't have too much competition on the music side. Then we have Best Visual Effects, aka the Blockbuster Award. This just gives the award to who had the biggest budget, basically. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, of course, those movies are always going to get nominated in Best Visual Effects, and they look fantastic. They deserve it. You forget that you're watching computer-generated monkeys for 2.5 hours. Dune Part 2, once again. I think Civil War is going to get in here as the sole kind of art housey, but not really movie. It's kind of like more prestige than these other ones. So that'll get a nod. Alien Romulus, once again, very effects heavy. And Better Man, very effects heavy, like Planet of the Apes. This is a completely CGI main character, and it looks pretty good. I haven't seen the movie. I don't think anyone in America has, but the visuals look pretty good, so I'm sure it'll get a nomination. Best International Feature. Again, like with Song, this is a mashup of the Golden Globes and Critics' Choice nominations. Not too familiar with these, so this is more of another shot in the dark. Definitely I'm Still Here for Brazil, that I've heard is one of the best movies of the year, period. So good that people are mad it's not campaigning for Best Picture. Obviously, Amélie Perez from France, there's no way that doesn't make it here. Flow, after its win at the Golden Globes, is probably going to get into an international feature. That would be cool to see an animated movie get in here. And The Girl with the Needle for Denmark and Dahomey for Senegal. I've heard about them, which means something, because if an international film is getting discussed a lot, I think it's probably going to get a nomination. I've heard it discussed more so than any of the other possible nominees. I'll just say that. Then we have Best Costume Design. Wicked, Dune Part 2, Brutalist, Nosferatu, and Conclave. Not too hard. And neither is makeup and hairstyling. Dune Part 2, Wicked, Nosferatu, The Substance, and I think A Different Man's going to get in here. I hope so, because I don't think Sebastian Stan is going to be in Best Actor. So I hope A Different Man can get at least some recognition, because I thought it was one of the best movies from last year. All right, now we're getting into what I consider the big four of the Oscars. Best Director, this one hurts. Denis Villeneuve for Dune is not going to be in here. Again, he got snubbed for the last one, now he's getting snubbed for Part 2. DGA didn't nominate him, so that's pretty much dead in the water at this point, I think. I think the nominees are going to be Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, Sean Baker for Anora, Jacques Audiard for Amélie Perez, Carly Farge for The Substance, and I think people are going to be surprised when James Mangold makes it in here as well. He made it in the DGA, and that was what killed Denis' chances. I think he's going to do it again at the Oscars. Best Actor. These have been a lock for a while now, at least 4 of them have been a lock, and one was kind of solidified at the SAG Awards. Timothée Chalamet for Complete Unknown, Ray Fiennes for Conclave, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, and then the last spot was kind of going between Daniel Craig for Queer and Sebastian Stan for A Different Man or The Apprentice, and that "or" I think is what killed him. 2 really good performances that split his vote, and with Daniel Craig getting nominated at the SAG Awards, I think he's going to take that 5th spot. Okay, so I don't really know how I did this, but I completely forgot to do Best Actress after doing Best Actor. I promise I'm not sexist, I just totally got mixed up, but I'm just going to read off my nominees real quick. Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Demi Moore for The Substance, Carla Sofia Gascon for Amélie Perez, Mikey Madison for Nora, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here after her Golden Globes win. Sorry, again, my bad. And now the time has come for Best Picture, the biggest award of the night. And most of these are going to be, again, repeats. We know pretty much what the Best Picture lineup's going to look like by now. The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Anora, Amélie Perez, Wicked, The Substance, I think is actually going to get in here, Conclave, A Complete Unknown, Nickel Boys, and that last spot is not going to be Sing Sing after SAG, I don't think. And I was going between this and A Real Pain, but I think A Real Pain is more focused on screenplay and Kieran Culkin's campaign. I don't think it's really trying for Best Picture. So I think the last Best Picture spot is going to go to September 5, the kind of like boring pick that has no chance. But you got to fill it with something. And with that, that is my predictions for the 2025 Oscar nominations. As of now, nominations are supposed to come out on the 19th. We'll see if any further delays happen. I want to try and do a live reaction to the nominations. Probably won't get to happen because I usually work on Sunday mornings, but we'll see. But I will do a video giving my thoughts on the actual nominations and comparing how many I got right to how many I got wrong. I want to say thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, check out my other videos, leave a like on this one, comment down below what your Oscar predictions are and what you thought of mine. And if you like this content, please subscribe because I have a lot more coming. I'm uploading movie videos every week, and with Oscar season upon us, there's going to be plenty of award race stuff to talk about. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.